Hi everybody, how are we going? Just wanted to make a tiny introduction to explain this next video. Back 2 years ago, we were invited to the New Holland factory in Zedelgem. Hopefully I've pronounced that correctly. At GRASSMEN we've always been a big fan of the New Holland brand, and the New Holland as a brand has undertaken so many different changes throughout the years, and we have worked with and seen a lot of those changes, from the Fiat, New Holland Fiat 11090, the TW35, to the old 1900, to the FR, and working with Country Crest on the New Holland Combines. We have seen a lot of New Holland in action, and also right back to the history of Case, and now it's Case New Holland as a bigger brand. So we didn't want to miss the opportunity when we were looking back through a lot of our old footage of putting up a small video of our factory tour back 2 years ago in Zedelgem. And it's a very interesting factory. We were very lucky at that time to be one of the first companies afforded the privilege of being allowed to take film inside the factory. So I hope you enjoy this video. And over my shoulder, you can see our latest project. For me, this was one of New Holland's, stroke Ford, stroke whatever else, one of their greatest masterpieces. It was a tractor that, in my humble opinion, was a way ahead of its time with regards to engineering. So enjoy the video of the Zedelgem factory. Right, wow, we, as my wee boy would say. We're in Zedelgem. We're at the birth of the FR, the Combines for New Holland, CXs or something they're called, I don't really know, and the big square baler. But we're absolutely buzzing because we're getting pretty much an access all areas tour. We're going to be able to film it, and we're going to bring you the key points of what comes together to form a New Holland machine. I know absolutely nothing about it at this point, but we've got a couple of very special tour guides, so we're going to walk around and show you how it all comes together. Absolutely stoked for this. Let's get her lit, boys. Right, show me some machines.
Yeah.
Apparently these are Italian sizes. Makes me feel better.
You too much Belgian chocolate, that's all.
Oh, the Belgian chocolate's good. Right, so what makes this factory unique is over here, lorries constantly unloading steel metal. It works its way down through the plasma cutters and whatever, starts to get shaped, comes out round the factory, and by the time it gets to the far side, the sheet metal is starting to take form, in the sense of it's folded into augers, spouts, flaps, whatever all's been used. You can see over here, you've got your tubes and your steel, and they're constantly all these different processes creating the parts that come together to make your New Holland product.
Sheet metal parts come in over there, they're put into the caliber, and then we're starting to weld the main frame. This is the very first start within the manufacturing assembly line. Here you see it turning, and then he will finish off the main frame, and then it goes in different stages into the weld assembly, being completed until we have a frame ready to be painted.
And then the next time we see it is at the top end of this shade, where it comes back in, painted, powder coated, ready for the assembly.
Ready for the assembly line. Yep.
So this is the main frame.
This is the main frame. This is what goes to the painting line.
And what else is welded in this department?
In this department also the VariFlow system is welded here, parts of the VariFlow, the main frame, cutter heads, and those are the most important ones, dedicated components for the Holland, which are welded here.
This is the start of the paint process for all the New Holland products here. You run, from my understanding, you run two types of process. You have a little bit of spray paint, and you also have powder coating and bagging. So just very, very quickly, explain the paint process.
So every single part which is coming out of the machining and welding is going through the preparation process, where the parts get different stages of chemical treatment to make sure that you remove the residuals of the welding and also the mill skill, and then all the parts going through the automatic painting system.
So once it comes out of here, it looks quite dull.
This is ground paint. This is a preparation, the bottom layer of the paint.
See where it all starts. As you can see, just behind me here, we have literally just a chassis frame. Axles is in there as well. Moves over in here, and you can start to see the basic shape of the harvester taking place. And this is one of the first bits of frame to go on here.
Yep. So this is one. So this is the main frame.
Yeah.
And here we have the support where the cap is being mounted on as well and hooked on as well. Here you see in the front, this area is actually where the main bearing of the cutter head is. Just to have an idea, this is where the cutter head is.
Yes.
So it all the way flows in. Then later on we install the VariFlow, which is a unique New Holland feature, and then we install the rest of the machine.
That's how you know she's a big machine.
That's actually machine
head into you there's still room. There's still room. There's some that I can't even get into.
Lots of space here to get you for the biggest drum.
Yeah. We've got the first bit of support structures on. We've got the back counterbalance on over there. We've got our axles, everything's in line.
Yep.
So we've just took a few steps across to the other side of the shade, and here's what you're doing a lot of singing and dancing and praising about in the FR market world. This is the heart of the FR here. This is the engine, but it's not just a standard engine. It's your own engine.
It's our own engine. This is the character of the. This is giving the character of the machine. Really, the engine's optimized for our application. Here we have the C13 engine. On the other one, we have our V8 engine
for 850 application.
For the 850 application, we're phasing out the 850. We are switching it over to the 920 we have an emissionized model. For US.
And that's the new defined V20 that we see.
And that's the new V20. That's the one on Agritechnica, the new V20 engine. Not to underestimate the maximum horsepower between 1900 and 1600 RPMs. Maximum curve all the way.
Wow.
It would take a 50-foot lump of Northern Ireland teared out lumpy grass to really test that engine, Gary.
Oh yes, oh yes.
You know, we could do our bit for New Holland. the older 600 would have been running that 13 litre or a derivative of the 13 litre Fiat Powertrain engine, whereas now your 650 and your 780, which will be the most popular harvester that's going to come into Ireland, I believe, is running the Cursor 16, which is 15.9 litre engine, which really is doing everything it says in the tin from as far as engine characteristics and performance concerned. So engine goes on.
Yep.
That's what's happening here. So it's the same process.
Engine together with the main gearbox.
Yes.
The main clutch. Part of the hydrostats that's being pre-assembled on the main frame, and then we're moving to the next one.
There's only one thing better than a V8, V12.
So we got the chassis, we got the engine. Now we start in the heart of the machine. So in this section, the accelerator is being mounted. A number of other hydrostack components are being installed. And then once here we are building up really the crop flow step by step.
And this is from the predecessor days, when we did our video there, Pim, we had a bit of fun. We had an old 1900.
Yep.
And we had it up against the new, not against, but you know, we were showcasing it side by side with the new FR 650. But if you go back to the old days of the New Holland choppers, this is where the big differences start.
This is the big difference.
This
is the big difference. So with the FR range, we really introduced the valley flow system, which is unique in the industry. We're putting the blower, if you're in grass, specifically in grass, we're putting the blower closer for optimal grass performance.
You Holland have always went for the engine longitudinal. Is that right? Because everybody knows you suffer power loss through a right angle gearbox, but
It's the total concept of the machine which counts. And one single gear doesn't determine whether you're efficient, yes or no. It's a total package. It's at the end your liters per ton which counts. And that is the only determining factor how efficient your machine is.
yeah,
Because competitors, if you would start counting on some of the competitor units, the number of 50-degree gearboxes they have in, you would be surprised.
yeah,
Maybe,
okay.
maybe not just after the rear engine, but on the rest of the machine.
yeah. So we've got
So
a,
it's just the total package which counts.
and you're convinced longitudinal is the best way
Oh
for
yes.
your product.
Oh yes.
Without a doubt.
It's the optimal compact design, gives the optimal rear visibility to the rear and an optimal turning radius. So in this area, we really see the grub flow growing into the machine. So Cutterhead is here, still virtually the Cutterhead is here. We're making the transition all the way to the accelerator or the processor, all the way to the spout tower. This is the section we already have. Here you see wear resistance, key element.
Yeah.
We have wear slides here, we have wear sides on the side.
Yeah.
All the way to the top. From the front, from this side, the lower side, second sides, blower sides, rear side, spout tower, and the complete spout have replaceable wear liners. So here we are at another very early start, which is really the heart of the machine, which is the cutter head. You get the cutter head frame in here, fully welded, painted together, and then we go all the way down, fully pre-assembled cutter heads, and going into the main assembly line.
Yes.
Okay.
And this is something that you are extremely proud of.
Yes, of course. This is really, we have the biggest drum in the industry. It's a robust design, gives the optimal chop quality, and gives you also, of course, the most optimal capacity.
And
Since we also have the widest cutter head configurations, we go from all the way back from a 2x8 all the way to a 2x20.
And that's 2x8 there.
This is 2x8. Yep.
That's almost one destined for Ireland. With a 2x8. And what's that, 2x10?
That's 2x10.
That's 2x10. That's what the 650 we had was running
Yep.
on, a 2x10.
So here we see the huge intake, the largest feed rolls weight in the industry. We have here the LOC drive, independently from the cab, you can adjust it fully. On the other side, we have the header gearbox here. On optional, we can get it with a double drive system, which allows you to independently adjust your pickup towards the base unit.
Yeah, and the double drive was on the 650 that we had, and
Yep.
we felt that was a fantastic. But this particular one we're looking at is without the double drive.
This one does not have it installed yet.
Yeah.
That can also go in the line later on.
Oh, no, oh, okay. So we don't know if this machine's
No,
getting it or
that's
not.
not there.
And so
So
basically,
also here, also on this section here, also this unit gets the grinding system installed here. This is also,
Yes.
so really it's the feed rolls, cutter head, grinding system, all one part, pulled together on the machine.
do the FR sharpen in forward or reverse?
You can on an FR, you're the only one, you can do both.
Yeah. Reverse sharpening is better.
Reverse sharpening
Basically, yeah. Well,
is the next step.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
It's the truth.
that's the truth. Here we have another a new feature we have. Here we have a Dura cracker together with the 920. We are introducing a new generation of crop processors with new sets of rolls. They come with a spiral cut roll, which is then the Dura shredder version, or they come with a Dura cracker, which is a conventional processor. So this is really the answering the demands for the longer length of cut and to have really the long stems, not only the kernel intensively processed, but also the stem.
Just to get it all busted.
To get it completely destroyed.
Yeah.
Kernels have to be destroyed completely. People don't want to find in a number of areas. A lot of people, some people do not prefer to have any kernels anymore into their corn silage. Right?
So that's what this does. So I presume that requires horsepower.
This really takes a lot of horsepower.
Yeah. But also processors quite often were the weakest link in machines. You know, blogging and going on. So you're telling me this is able to handle the power?
This is also because first of all, it was the processing performance. independent from the model, but also the capacity on the new 920, of course. It also has to run the tons which are going through the machine. Also, this process has to be able to process.
We've come back now and joined the line at the next step. So we just took the side step there. We looked at the drum, the new feed rollers, and that coming together. At this stage, the cab has been dropped on. See all the controls, everything's in there.
Yep.
Side step at this stage is now on. So one of the last things that has to happen now is we'll have to basically wheel out that hole, because that's not, the drum doesn't go in and then all the bits and pieces, it's all made out there as one unit that just comes in now,
Yep.
plops on and gets plumbed up. And obviously this machine here, from what I can gather, this particular one is going to get a double drive, and
So this is the hydrostats for the
Yeah,
LFC
hydrostat,
gearbox,
this is the
and
double
this
drive
is
here.
the double drive. Yep.
so this is going to be the double drive. This is going to be the all singing, all dancing.
This is the cooling pack we are installing in this section as well. You still have here the easy access to the service area, but this is really a standalone module, and then again another module which is being built on.
Yeah.
Here you have a good view on the four-wheel drive mechanical system. The transmission in the front, all the way with the mechanical PTO shaft to the rear. Full mechanical four-wheel drive, that's what we like.
And is that the future for New Holland? We're going to
for
stay
sure.
mechanical?
The 920 has a new generation four-wheel drive. Again, mechanical drive, seriously sized up in terms of steering axle, PTO shaft, four-wheel drive gearbox, and together with Terralock.
And Terralock, for those who don't understand, is you can set it up that when you turn to a certain angle,
Yep.
she'll knock it off. So if some New Holland drivers will say one of the things that it's a very sharp lock, it turns, you can go down one 30-foot sward and not a problem, come back up the next 30-foot sward, but if you give it the full lock with speed on, it can be aggressive on the ground. But with this new Terralock coming in,
Yep.
it's going to knock out the four-wheel drive on the turn, just at that point where you turn it. I presume you can still go full on.
You can set the angle as you wish,
Yeah.
and then you automatically
So-
engage it.
So it's going to help with keeping the farmers happy at the headlands.
Yep.
We won't flick
Indeed.
up the bit of dirt that blocks or the next cup.
Indeed.
So again, the V8 under current legislation is non-emissionised.
Nope.
Doesn't have to be.
This one is tier 2.
Yep.
This is tier 2. There is above a certain horsepower level, above 560 kilowatt, there is no emission levels
Yeah,
required
yeah,
today. But from next year onwards, US requires tier 4 final.
That's right. Yeah.
This is still a tier 2, of which we're building the last ones here.
And some people will be putting orders in to get the last ones because they'll not want the
It's the last call.
Yep.
It's
that's
the last call for the Vector
last-
engine.
Yep. Yep.
So this area we are in the startup of the machine. They hook all the different functions onto the machine to be able to monitor what is happening and to check temperatures of bearings and the fluid temperature and so on. So if you go to this side, the operator gets into the machine. He has a dedicated screen there where all the different parameters he has to check, kind of a check card he has to go through. So the machine is really starting up and is testing all the different functions.
Once it passes this test, is that it? Front wheels on, shipped out, or is there more tests?
Afterwards, we follow different procedures. We have what we call CQAs, customer quality audits. Frequently, we get machines out of the line as they have been built after the checks. We put them in a dedicated quality area, and they're being checked for hundreds of points for several days. So, and this can take up 2 to 3 days easily to have a full installation and remove parts, double check.
Yeah.
By just picking the machine from the parking lot and putting in the quality check.
At this stage, this machine could be leaving here, front wheels on, bye-bye, or this machine could be, hold on a minute, we like the look of you.
Yep.
We're going to keep you a few days
Yeah.
and run a
And
lot
this
more
is really
tests on you.
periodically that we frequently are checking every single machine once more to make sure we are shipping quality machines.
So we've just watched an FR being built, but I have one burning question. The one thing we would love to do is go a wee bit deeper than so is there any chance we can look at some of your development? Like, I mean, rumour has it you have a 920
Yes.
currently being tested, which is literally the first or second machine to be built in this factory. That's what we want to see. That's what our guys want to see.
we have one here. We'll show it to you.
Can we?
Yep. We'll show it to you.
We've seen it being built, but we want to see, before it is built, what goes into the testing and the development, and that's the new Vector 20 engine.
That's the brand new one.
Oh,
the
boys,
V20.
can we do it? Thank you.
There we go.
Let's go and see it.
Yep.
We've stepped away from the production line. We're practically at another end of the whole site. This is all part of the research and development, and not only that this is, I mean, at Agritechnica this year, New Holland launched their brand new 920. New Holland's part of their marketing strategy is that they're aware that the horsepower range is getting bigger and there's so much more demand for the bigger machines out there, and we've looked at the new type of kernel processor, and it can take up to 220 horsepower drive that. So the 850 has been phased out, hence there's a little bit of a rush of them on the line. I think there's a lot of guys wanted to get the last ones in. The 920 is moving into new tier regulations, so we're into the new research, basically in development. This machine's going through its testing. We've got a dyno linked into the side of the machine. They can run all sorts of programs in this machine. Of course, it's still on its slave tires. I think this is either the first or the second of these machines to be actually proper production built. That one of them's at Agritechnica, and this one's going to go through a real extensive dyno testing, load the engine, check everything out, make sure everyone's what it wants. The one that's just outside the door, there's that machine, as you can see, has obviously been working on extensive tests out, I'm going to say, over the last couple of years, I'll assume, just from looking around it. So they've obviously ready to launch the machine, and we're in here now to get a wee look at something a wee bit different, not just roll it off the machine, start it up, load it onto a lorry and get it out there. So this is New Holland's new flagship going forward, FR. Be a bit disappointed now if she doesn't start.
This is the final. This is the final state of testing. This is verifying what has been done in the production line. We get the machine out of the production line. We put it here. We really hook up everything, every single thing we can measure here on the engine side. We're starting to measure and trigger everything we can, and therefore we are revving up the engine here, and we want to understand what really the engine is doing what it is.
And this is the last step before a new machine, a new concept, a new engine gets released onto the market.
That's right.
This is, and that's, what's your name?
Jeroen.
This is Jeroen's responsibility to make sure that the engine is doing everything it's meant to do, and if it's not, he sorts it. Hey, raise.
You can stay.
I'd like to.
So we're hitting already.
So we're heading to 25. So what I'm seeing here, just to transfer over, is that this engine is still running at 2100. It's maximum. It's not even designed to run there.
Nope.
But it is currently, there's a load already there of 2,500 Newton meters of torque at 2100 RPM, and it's not even coughing. This is the birth of the Combine.
This is the birth of the Combine.
What's happening behind us here?
We've got the cleaning chute moving over to match up with the axle.
Yes, so the cleaning chute has just been made here behind us.
It's just been assembled.
It's come over here. It's coming on now. It's going to be fitted onto the axle.
Onto the axle.
And that's the first thing that's going to give the Combine a little bit of a familiarity of what we would know as a Combine.
Correct. Okay, Gareth, you can see now we've had the chassis, we've had the axles, we're now bolting the main separation, the rotors in this case, on this Combine. So that's the next stage. That's all been sub-assembled to the side and brought over.
This is a rotary Combine.
It is a rotary Combine. So again, you can see the rotors have been fitted here. This is what we call a narrow body.
Yes.
So you have two 17-inch rotors. And then we've got the wide body machine. So this is the same frame as a 5-walker Combine with higher capacity. So the rotary gives high output on the machine.
Yes. So this is, and there's no hybrids within the New Holland brand.
There is no hybrid. We totally work on grain separation with our twin rotor system.
Yeah.
So there's absolutely, you're running with the grain on grain, so we're actually using centrifugal force, and we're using the grain pushing against the grain, and that gives a high quality of straw out of the back of the Combine.
So it's almost like a straw worker combine. Straw is a very important commodity these days.
It is indeed.
Getting ready for the cab. The power plant has been put in place, the engine. Again, we'll actually see the engine all being sub-assembled around the far side. The main line doesn't stop for anything. So everything has to be pre-prepared and ready for the line. There's 13 combines have been done today so far. Today.
That's a good going then. So we're getting the grain tanks now. The grain tanks have went. Were the grain tanks always yellow?
No, grain tanks were always black. Again, this is part of the 2018 upgrade for the twin rotor machine. All the different sizes of tanks, 9,500 litres, 10,500 litres, 11,500 litres, and the big one, 12.5. So here we have Gareth, the combine.
She's got the cab on her now.
She's got the cab,
So this is a twin rotor machine.
twin rotor,
I'm learning that from the yellow,
rail tank, yellow
which
chassis.
is 2018 improvement upgrades. This is the big baby.
This is the big baby, or one of them. It's any of the rotary machines for 2018.
So that's her. So cab's on, rotors is on, tank's on, engine's on. She's nearly there.
She's getting there all right.
What next?
Next, she's starting to get all fitted out. You'll get all the tin panels. She's getting all the bits and pieces, finesse. All the bulk of the bits is already there now. So she's nearing completion. Wiring harnesses, etc., are all there.
Whilst we're here in Zedelgem, we decided that we didn't want to leave without getting a wee look at the balers, the square balers. Every baler worldwide is made in this facility, and so we're literally now just stepped into the baler production line. We're not going to spend too long on it, but it is a part of this factory. We were earlier on, we were in seeing all the steel metal coming in and folded, and that's for combines, balers, and for FRs. So we're just going to take a run down the line and give you a wee bit of an indication as to how a baler comes together, and hopefully get a little close-up look at what has to be the most complicated, complex. You need about a degree to understand how a knotter works. So let's go.
This is one of the first positions where the main frame comes in, and then they start the pre-assembly of the main components.
And the main frame is a single piece chassis?
It's a single piece chassis, yes.
No bolts,
That's
no
a
nothing?
monocoque frame, nothing. There is no bolt-on
weld.
connection. The main gearbox is getting
Yeah.
assembled, and they are assembling some hydraulic and pneumatic lines on it. It's the main gearbox
That's a
and the
gearbox,
plunger.
and then a
The
plunger.
plunger.
right?
As
Yeah.
plunger.
This is your
Plunger.
flywheel here.
But we do call it a plunger. I call
Yeah,
it a
yeah,
plunger.
yeah,
It is a
yeah.
plunger.
It's a plunger, yes.
And then it's like a camshaft idea, the way.
No, but I mean it is called a plunger.
Yeah, that's right. That.
I know
yeah,
it's
yeah.
fine enough, sorry. So we've got the flywheel, the plunger,
Main gearbox.
main gearbox. The most complicated bit now is the knotter. I want to see a knotter going on.
So this is a knotter pre-assembly which is delivered from over there, from over the road. And it's ready to be assembled.
Blah, blah, blah.
Simple as that.
No. It's a... But they're double knotters.
Indeed.
New Holland, they're
New
the only
Holland's-
baler to double
indeed.
knot. Aha, I knew that. We have a lot of our oil tanks, our knotters on.
Electrics being
Electrics
assembled
is-
on this
yeah.
position.
So we're very quickly taking the shape of a baler. I suppose the main thing I can see we're missing now is the pickup ring. So it'll probably not be far away. So we now have all our pipes and
So
everything.
this is the top door pre-assembly, which is pre-assembled here, and then being assembled on the machine in this position here. And then obviously the needles.
So well, needles and that's going on now, and then we're heading towards the pickup.
So this is the position where the pickup gets pre-assembled on the machine.
How come we have yellow and black?
Yellow is the New Holland version for United States,
Oh, black is...
because New Holland for United States has a different coloring.
electrically placed wire as well. Yeah.
Gary, Connor, get the New Holland stickers going on the red, that's cool.
So the tailgate pre-assembly, last final touches,
That's final touches.
and the nutter cover. So this is the same approach as we have on the forage harvesters. Every individual baler, this is the startup area. They are using hydraulic motors to run them,
Yeah.
to make sure that everything runs in, that all the systems are working correctly, monitoring the temperature of the bearings, just to make sure that whatever we deliver is a high quality.
Hi guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to hit the subscribe button and leave any comments or any questions you have about it, and we'll do our best to get back to you. And remember to check out the GRASSMEN channel for lots more videos and many more just like this.